Welcome to the Speaking Podcast. You can find all our episodes on speakingpodcast.com. I also have the Awakening Podcast, the Meditation Podcast, Learn Polish Podcast, and the Crypto Podcast, and all can be found on roycon.com. Today, my guest, slightly different from what I usually do, but I'm looking forward to it, the creator of 567 Broadway. Please welcome Joseph Corella.
Yay. Thank you so much for having me.
Don't worry. So, I've seen some of your stuff, some of the videos and everything, but I'd like you to perhaps introduce yourself first to the listeners.
Yeah. My name is Joseph Corella, and I'm the creator of 567 Broadway, which is a dance fitness class to Broadway music. It's for adults. And I've been doing that in Los Angeles for about 8 years now. And it's been amazing to see it grow. I created a workout video. Along with, I have YouTube stuff. I do virtual classes because everything went virtual during the pandemic, but it's been also a really great thing with connecting people around the world to the power of dance and music. That is like my main mission. And long story long about my career with dance. I started when I was 7 in Phoenix, Arizona. So that's where I'm from originally. And I knew at a young age that this is what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. And it's been quite a journey. I will say that it hasn't always been easy, but the one thing that I have learned through it is that the magic of dance. There's something, it is, science does show you the health benefits of dance and what it can do for your body and mind. But also too, I do believe that there's some very beautiful spiritual thing, whatever that is for you. But I really try to encourage people through dance to find the creativity within them. But I've been on Broadway and I did national tours. I'm a huge musical theater nerd. Like I love musicals so much, and that's why I love 567 Broadway, because it combines both dance and fitness into Broadway and into being creative and to having an experience when you work out, which is fun. We deserve that.
Absolutely. And because I was going to ask you about the mind and the body, the benefits, because I know myself. I mean, I'm done Broadway, but I mean, I know that when I dance, even if you're feeling doom and gloom, put on decent music and it just lifts the spirit. So what kind of science is there behind it? Because I'd say not everybody knows.
Well, I mean, I think history has shown us how dancing pulls people together and how it can help. And I also too like remind people, we're in in the modern age, but like the evolution of music is really incredible, and from creation of instruments to where we are now it's easy just to be like, I'm going to listen to this song, and like it's great. But it's really powerful to see these instruments come together, voices, even with music videos now. I really try to remind people how powerful that is. And to not just be like, yeah, I can push a button and listen to anything I want. Like, let's kind of give the respect, the arts. Obviously I'm huge, I support 100%. And I think the arts do help society as a whole. That's from singing, dancing, acting, creative, any creative thing. We're creative beings. So when you can tell that, yes, putting on a song, you connect to it. And there's even memories. Like, I know the certain songs, you see a movie and like Dirty Dancing, Time of My Life, you'll never forget that song. That combination together is a really powerful thing. And that's where I really try to tap into that magic and, and join together different types of people through that, through that experience. It's an experience.
Because I like to kind of know, I suppose, the creators, the artists, the speaker's journey. But since you started at 7, I'm assuming that being in front of people was something you just loved from at that age.
Yeah, I mean, half and half. I think dance really helped me connect to myself, helped me get me out of my comfort zone too. It helped me feel comfortable around people. And that's why I love it. And I even see people in my class, because I deal with a lot of people that don't dance. I can tell you like moving, by the way you even move. People can't see, if they can't see this, know that you move, you actually feel movement. And I can see that. But I deal with a lot of people that either have, never danced before or dance, and really joining people together, all different ages too, by the way, but really joining people together through understanding movement in your body. Like it's not easy to really to necessarily go, I've been dancing since I was 7. So yes, I know how it feels to be present in my body now. I would hope so at this point, but to really connect people to that is it's really, really cool to see the light come on in their eyes when they first start and they're like, well, I don't know. Is this, I'm doing a shimmy. How does this feel? How does this, like, oh, this is awkward. And then the next thing you know, you just see them like at the end of class smiling so big, and you can see them present in their body. And that's, again, I really don't take that lightly. That could be a life-changing moment for someone, and that can catapult somebody in their everyday life to do things that maybe they were nervous about or uncomfortable about. It's really all really experiencing life in many different ways.
I've been to a lot of events, and sometimes they do kind of like dance classes in the morning and everything. And like it's different in a disco at night when people are drunk because they kind of they don't care. But
Yeah.
when you just let it go, when there's no alcohol involved, I just feel it's so liberating. And it's a pity because people are self-conscious, and that's why they don't want to do it. But once you get rid of that, you like, because I always tell people, do you think someone's going to go home and think about how you were dancing on the dance floor? They don't. That's, you know, so why should you worry about it?
Yeah, most people are, as much as we see in this day and age, especially with social media, like talking about everything and anything, they're really thinking about themselves at the end of the day. But I can tell you're the life of the party. You definitely are on the dance floor. That song comes on and you like it, which is great. And that's what I really try to, especially because of this pandemic and having to be home especially in the beginning. Encouraging. I really try to encourage people to connect to music, not and really find healthy ways to deal with emotions and deal with what we're going through. When in doubt, dance it out is like a motto of mine, because it's been true for me. Whenever I felt lost or confused or scared, anxiety, if I turned to dance, it seemed to help me. It got all that out. There's many other things that obviously help too, but it was a foundation for me that helped catapult me to continue moving forward.
Excellent. And I'm curious because you mentioned just for adults, because I know in schools, like they kind of cut out music, they've cut out art, and they're taking the creativity out of children. Is this something that you'd like to kind of bring into school? I mean, even if
Oh
it
my
was,
gosh,
you know,
yes.
it's something that would be fantastic because, I mean, I've looked at your videos. You can see how happy people are. Can you imagine a bunch of children doing that? They would have so much fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, especially being in the United States, we for sure need to push the arts in school a lot more, a lot more. I went to a private school up until 7th grade, and then I went to this public school near me for 7th and 8th grade. And I had teachers that I now realize did so musical theater teachers that put on musicals at the school, and it was very popular, and it was like strangely cool, which you don't usually see. It was like High School Musical, the movie the Disney movie, and it was really popular, which was so weird. But I look back, and I'm so grateful for those teachers, because I know they gave up a lot of their time, and and they did fundraisers, they did things that we kind of just were like, oh well, here's the musicals, they magically happened, all these. But it was actually the teachers that really devoted a lot of their time. So yes, absolutely, I would love to work on the program to create it for kids and bring it into schools and really introduce kids to the magic of the arts. It's not just it's not just dance, it's the arts as a whole.
Like I know that like you're creating it where you're teaching people now, so you've courses that will allow people to become, let's say, the facilitator for doing that, which I think is
Mhm.
fantastic, especially in the crazy times that we're living in, and it's all around the world. So people need that. They need, there's Zumba, there's other things, but I think
Yeah.
that's got a different age, because some people, they're not into that, and this is something that a lot of people can connect with, because as you said, like Dirty Dancing, there's a lot of trigger points that just make you happy. And
Yeah.
you do that with people, online. I mean, even if it's in the same country or the same region, you could actually meet up with later. It's a great way, actually. You're basically taking the barriers down to kind of say, hey, this is my true self.
Yeah, absolutely. Because my whole concept too is like, I want to create beyond Broadway. And I created another class called 567 Hollywood, which is combining the, moving. I love movies. I've always loved movies, and especially living in Los Angeles, you know, it's the movie capital. But movies and the power of music within movies. And they really help us more than we understand. There's a lot of things happening and again, Dirty Dancing is like the prime example, just because you hear the song Time of My Life and you immediately are catapulted maybe to when you first saw the movie, or your love of the movie and a love of the song and all these things. And I remember Dirty Dancing starting a dance revolution. So like where Dirty Dancing like went on, the movie became so popular and then went on tour. They had Dirty Dancing tours, and it was really cool to see. And I really tried to capitalize on that and really try to remind people we are creative. We do connect to these things whether we understand it or not. And that's why I like working with adults, because I don't think adults get enough opportunities to be creative like that. It's like, well, you're an adult now. You have to quote unquote be serious. And it's really, I try to create a safe space to put on a workout costume. Like Dirty Dancing is going to be the best example for me because it's in my brain right now. But like, you know, putting on a rehearsal skirt or like whatever it is, really encouraging people to tap into that fantasy aspect and allow yourself to be creative, because we are creative beings. Whether we understand, from the moment we put on a shirt to doing our hair, everything is a creative expression. How can we tap into that even more and be excited like a kid playing, tea time? Like we as adults should be doing that too, because it does help us refuel, and it also helps grow us. It allows us to dream more. It allows us to escape in a healthy way. So there's just so many benefits. There's really truly so many benefits of the arts, or especially I'm going to speak specifically about 567 Broadway. It's a creative experience. It's a creative workout experience. And that evolved into that creatively for me. That evolved. I just kind of set a foundation, and then it slowly started becoming what it wanted to become. And that's why I'm trying to get the message out to as many people as I can.
I've seen with the kind of Goldie hat as well. I think it makes people just kind of bring the inner child out, and like that's something I've always like that. I mean, if my youngest son, like he's nearly 8, I don't care if someone's looking at me. My aim is to make him up, but I'm acting like the child as well, and even around my friends, and people prefer that rather than the serious. And you attract it, and then people become the same when you start doing that.
You can definitely tell that you authentically own yourself, and I love that because it's real. We need that. Why not be? I think the thing is, if we're being loving and we're being genuine and not like hateful, who cares what other people are doing? If you're owning yourself, that's great. And I love that. And that's for me. I try to create a safe space with 567 Broadway to, try different things. Even when we do numbers every week. The second part of class, I choreograph a number. I bring it down. It's like from this weekend, we're doing This Is Me from The Greatest Showman. But I love adding elements of really figuring out, like I'll say improv. You're going to improv for 2/8 counts. And that really is to allow them to listen to themselves, because for me, dance has helped me understand my voice, not the voice, not everybody else's voices around me, understand what I need to do for my life. But it also takes practice. It takes practice to do that. And dance has been a great way to say, okay, how am I feeling? What does this feels right? Or, and I encourage people to kind of like, if it doesn't feel right, do something different. So you have 2/8 counts to improv. If that doesn't feel right when you're starting to do something, try different things. And it's going to take you a moment to figure it out, but you'll figure it out. I'm not gonna tell you what to do. You can figure it out. And it's funny to watch people go through, not funny, but it's like interesting. You can tell sometimes they're like, I don't know. I have to make a choice. And then, cause you're going through a process of like, well, do I look stupid? Is this right? Is this right or wrong? Cause we hear so much in life. This is how it must be. This is it, especially as adults. This is where you're at. This is how you must be. You must do it. And you have no more fun. And it's like, no, we need to have tea time for the rest of our lives.
I love that because it's kind of like, because a lot of the things that are happening in life, they're like the GPS and you stop thinking, you just
Mhm.
follow. Whereas when you're telling people, no, it's your time, then they have to go into their own creativity and do what they feel is right for that moment. That's excellent. I love that.
Yeah, it's really beautiful to watch. Again, I love watching people. You can see the light come on in their heart and in their eyes. And there's been some people in class that some people that have been with me for years now, but like they first came to class and I was like, oh, they hate class. They're not having a good time. I've learned to strip myself to stop saying stuff like that in my head. But I'm trying to I'm like, they don't look like they're having fun or yada yada yada. And watching them come to life and then being, they've some students have been with me for years now that I was like, oh, they're never coming back. And here we are years later. And you can see how it helps them, and people that are introverts becoming more open in life through the power of dance, through the power of music. Community is really important. It is really nice to be around people that are on the same journey as you, and it is, we as humans need that too. I think that's why the pandemic has been obviously really tough, is we've had to separate. Thank goodness for technology though, and the fact that we can still connect like that, but it is difficult, and we need a community to support each other and to be on the journey together.
And with the courses that you've done, because obviously you've training and stuff, so you've created like videos that people can see. Have you any tricks and tips from what you've learned from that? Because some people want to create a course that you could
Yeah.
share with us.
Yeah, it's a journey. It's for sure. Like I'm glad I did a lot of stuff. I randomly did it before the pandemic. So but I continue to fine tune things. I think the one thing is if your heart is telling you to do it, for sure do it. And also be patient. That is something that I've really had to learn for myself through this process, is be patient. I have an idea and then I'm like, great, the idea must be and a week from now that course should be finished. Oh no, it might take a moment to really get exactly the foundation, fine tune it, get feedback as you put it out into the world, and get feedback from people and say, okay, what can we do to improve? And just to really be patient with yourself, but continue to follow that dream. Like Elvis Presley said, follow that dream wherever that dream may lead you.
And I think sometimes people try to be perfectionists and
Oh,
want everything perfect before they get it out, and then they never get it out. They procrastinate. They just want it. And it's best to get it done as much, and then you can always redo it. If
yeah,
you have it out there, you
absolutely.
can always go, I should have done this. And as it's out there and it's making an income, you can
Yeah.
redo it, and it doesn't, and you're learning so much as well as getting the feedback.
Yeah, and also, yes, I'm in that boat. I'm going to tell you, and I've learned a lot through that, to just, continue to just get the idea out, get it out, just whatever it's like it will fine tune itself, but also to know when, okay, it's time to take another turn. Like, okay, I've really put my best foot forward with this idea, and life is telling me maybe I should go this way a little bit. But again, being patient, because those things take time to really show, and your heart will tell you. My heart has guided me 100%. The universe, call whatever it is for you. It has really guided me onto listening to my heart and moving in that direction, and making sure to continue to follow through on those ideas. That can be another thing. As a creative myself, I see shiny objects. I'm like, yay, I love that idea. I love that idea. And it is having to kind of be like, okay, I'm going to fine tune. And that's why I love podcasts, by the way, because you get a lot of great information. I'll never stop learning. And I really try to grow and educate myself, and podcasts are all obviously, and this podcast is a great way of doing that. So it's good to continue to learn and be teachable, even though that can be difficult sometimes as a perfectionist, to be like, well, I want that, and can I have that? I want to do this idea, can I learn that in a week? It might take a moment.
And like you mentioned, because you're on different podcasts, but I know that you've been on a lot of TV and probably maybe radio as well. Like, what have you learned for that? Because some people, whatever they're doing, whether they're trying to be a motivational speaker or whatever, like I've seen you on, I don't know what was the channel, but there was about 3 people there and you were so comfortable. And I loved what you did, actually. You had the hats, you gave him a hat and you gave him your DVD. I mean, talking about the best sales technique I've ever seen in my life, it was brilliant because they're all so happy, but you're doing a sales pitch without anyone even realizing.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I know. And the gold top hats make people so happy, by the way. And I love that. That was a fun interview to do. I think the thing is I've tried to obviously speak from my heart. So speak from my heart and learn and continue. The only way through is by doing it. Like, even with dance and getting on stage, the first time I got on stage for a dance solo when I was a kid, I totally forgot, made a mistake and was just improvising on stage, terrified. And then I had to go through that. And so I really have learned to just, hey, here we go. But also again, really making sure that I learn if I'm going to be in front of the camera, watch other people that I respect and admire. Who do I like watching? What do I like watching about them? What are they doing that I'm connecting with? And really allowing myself to be to learn from other people. And I love taking classes too. I take other classes to really help fine tune things and learn. I think that's the best thing, is just really being teachable and never saying, okay, well, I'm going to hit an end point. It's like there's always room to grow and to learn. And again, I'm not always the best at it, because I know for me, sometimes I wish I'm like, can I just push a button and I have all the knowledge in the world, like input it into my brain. But the human experience does not allow that.
The more I know, the more I realize I don't know.
Ain't that the truth? Oh, my Lanta. But I love it. And I think this is the thing now, especially as I've been having a lot more conversations with people, and it's been really cool, like even to meet you and chat with you. And where we are, we're pretty far apart from each other, and I love that we can just chat and learn and grow from each other. I think that's, podcasts are a really awesome way to learn. And so if anything, continue to listen to podcasts and find podcasts that work for you to help educate you.
The beauty is you can listen in your own time instead of being, that a certain show is on at a certain time, and you can do it while you're doing other things, whether a walk, cycling, earning, absolutely, whatever it is, you can double dip, basically, that you're, be as
there's so much information. There's so much information out there in this day and age. That's why even with like, if kids are like, what should I get like, I'm about to audition and I want to do more dance stuff or whatever. I'm like, there's so many ways in this day and age to learn and to grow. YouTube, podcasts, programs that people have put online. There's a plethora of information. It is finding the right information out there.
I'm trying to stick to it instead of, being just hopping from left to right the whole time. But if you find something that you're interested in, without a doubt, I mean, it depends. If you've no budget whatsoever, everything is there online. You can learn anything you want. If you put the time in and, just make the notes, you can develop any skill set.
Yeah. And it's a good reminder that, especially trying to really follow through on your ideas too, of saying, because it's not always going to be, it will be maybe fun in the beginning, and then you're like, ugh, I've got to continue. That's when you really got to buckle down and see the idea through of what you're trying to learn or where you're trying to go with that. I will remember that myself, as I've said that right now in this moment.
And I know that you've when we were in normal times, you were doing stuff in Japan, Canada, the UK, I think France, and obviously around the States. What did you learn? Is there something different that you had to adjust because of the different nationalities?
Oh, I love traveling, and I love seeing how dance and even fitness. I love seeing how fitness is done in different countries, and each country has their own way of doing things, and I love it. I'm fascinated. I will never forget, especially when I was in Paris, and Oh God, I love these. I'm so grateful. I love these memories. But I went and I had this like little gym membership for the couple weeks that I was there, and they had these dance fitness classes that I took, and they were incredible. It was like I entered an advanced dance class, like dance fitness class, and I couldn't keep up. I was like, what is happening? And again, that's so it was a little, I would say in the United States, we would kind of consider they were doing dance cardio that is a little like old, like 80s for us, a little old school. But I love that type of dance cardio. And everybody was on the same page, and it was really cool to see how that was done there. And yeah, I love there's so much of the world I do want to see. I'm supposed to be going to Ireland in April, fingers crossed about that. And I really want to experience more of how people around the world. And Japan was one of my most favorite places, though Tokyo was.
That will change when you go to Ireland. You'll
I can't wait to see everything. I mean, it's going to be so green. And currently, right now. I spend time between Joshua Tree, California, and Los Angeles. Joshua Tree is the high desert, and it's beautiful. But I can't wait to see Ireland and enjoy that. So, if you have any tips for me, that would be greatly appreciated.
Well, it depends what you're into, but if you like mountains, and I mean, obviously the city, you'll want to see courses and stuff like that and learn from what's going on there. But like in Kerry, which is the south, there's like you'll have mountains, you have lakes, and then you have the sea. And they don't build on the coast, so the coast is clear and it's beautiful. I mean, it rains a lot. If you don't like rain, just get used to it. But other than that, it's beautiful. The people are lovely and friendly. So yeah,
I can't wait. I'm so excited.
Enjoy it.
I can't wait to see that in castles, because we don't really have that in the United States. Obviously, we're not we don't have as much history as that. So I can't wait to see all of that.
Brilliant. And because I wanted to actually, because a lot of people, trying to promote themselves and everything. And it's only recently I've started asking people about the different social media. And I was checking out, like, your Instagram is, respect, very decent. You've 28,000. YouTube, you've 1.33 million views, which is very impressive. And your TikTok, you've 116.7 thousand followers, but you've got 4.4 million likes. So you're doing it right. So,
sometimes I'm like, what am I doing? I don't even know. Social media is such like a weird world. I'm like, I don't, because even like TikTok, I actually really enjoy the creative side of TikTok. It is a lot. It can be a lot, but it has nothing. If anybody's listening, you go to my TikTok, which is 567 Broadway, you'll be like, this has nothing to do with what you do. But you let social media kind of guide you, and it's been a fun creative experience trying that out. I mean, we've been talking about creativity, and like, I have no clue what I'm doing. I try to learn. Like, I'm like, when I first started TikTok, I had no clue how to like upload a video. So I watched a YouTube video of how to like edit a TikTok and everything. Now it's easy. But in the beginning, I was like, another social media platform to like learn. And then once I learned it, I was like, this is so much fun. But yeah, I'm trying my best to understand and navigate the crazy world of social media.
It's a kind of time. So at times it's great, but then you can kind of like, I loved the TikTok when it was a minute, but now I think they have 3 minutes or something like that. And you're going,
I can't even.
That was the beauty of it, because you could,
it's like watching many TV shows.
Yeah, but there's some brilliant information. I mean, whether it's cooking or whether it's just what's going on in the world, there is amazing. There are some brilliant people out there. You can stop. I mean, if you're not interested in some people are doing some crazy, just stuff that's not good. You just hit not interested, and then it won't show you that stuff no more.
True.
So if you use it right, it'll. And did you feel like? I mean, I only play with it, to be honest with you. I wanted to do it for my son because I was trying to get my son. I wanted to do magic, but whatever the algorithms work, they don't want children on it. So I'd put up stuff with him and it'd have like 0 or maybe 5, and then I do something stupid myself and I get 700 or something, and I'm like, what?
That's the weird thing. That is the thing. So for me, I'll never forget my husband and I started TikTok and I had literally no clue. I was like, this world is very weird. But then I was like, oh, this is entertaining. And then we were in lockdown here in California, and this is about a year and a half ago. And my husband and I had music on. We were just trying to have fun. I grew up in the dance competition world, so like and dance competitions are very big here in the US. I don't know if they're big everywhere else, but they're mad. It's like toddlers and tiaras here. And I would do solos and compete like that. So my husband started doing dance competition entrances. This is just we just music on, and we were being stupid, having fun, being creative, trying to make the most out of everything. And I was like, this would be I think this would be fun if we like filmed it and put it on TikTok. And we filmed it and put it on TikTok, and it went viral, and it got 2.9, that one video got 2.9 million views. I would have never guessed. Like, I was just like, this would be fun. But again, like you said, you're like, you just, the algorithm was like, yay, here you go. But now that's all people want to see. They're like, now they become characters. We created random characters. I don't know. It's so weird. And people now only want to see that. They're like,
Yeah, but I've looked at a few of them, but you're having fun. You know,
we're having fun.
That's the most
Yeah,
important thing.
definitely.
And I think that people see that, they like it, they'll follow you, and then they'll see more and more.
Absolutely. Yeah. And now they want to see Blanche and Samantha. That's our characters.
And
hey, I love
it. Is it hashtags? Is it, do you find, or does it make a difference in the,
It can. I mean, especially for our dance competition entrances, we use the hashtag dance comp entrances, and it puts everything together. So it is helpful for people if they click it. But, again, like you said, you think something's going to be like, you're like, people are going to like this. And then it gets like no views. And then the thing that you don't really think about suddenly takes off, and you're like, well, what? And that's as a creative, I have had to really learn to just put content out that I enjoy and that I think is helpful for people to a certain extent, and not be like, well, how many views am I getting? Am I getting a lot of followers? Which is not easy, because social media wants you to kind of jump on that bandwagon of like, well, look at how many likes and, all those things. But I've really had to be like, I am a creative being, just putting out content and helping the 567 community, and helping entertain people. That's the thing. Those dance competition entrances, as much as I've been like, oh my gosh, people only want to see that now if they're on TikTok following us. But the thing is, I've gotten messages about how they're like, these make me so happy. I can't begin to tell you how much I love these characters. That's like a musical theater nerd's dream. It's like it's combined my musical theater campy world into dance. And so I'm really grateful that it's, that helps people. And that's really what I think it should be about. So, I think we need all the joy we can get in life right now.
Absolutely. And I think we take, like, to be able to step away from caring about the likes and the thumbs up, because I remember at the start when I was doing the podcast, the speaking one I started in 2018, but I remember like the first 100 views or whatever, downloads, whatever, like in a milestone. And recently I looked at one, and it had been a milestone that I was aiming for, because I hit 1 million on one of the video channels, and then like another total of 1 million on something else. And I was just kind of like, whereas before, and that's good, because you don't make it about the numbers. It's just, as you say, get the content up, and people are enjoying it. And it doesn't have to be each one, like if one person, the message reaches one person, or what you put out, and somebody just needs it, they're in a bad place, and they just come across that, and it just switches that they are in a better place because of that. You'd still do it if it's only one person that you have reached in that day.
Well, and that's the, like, what is my heart telling me to do? And I'll never started the YouTube channel, and I still have no clue how these things work. I'm just doing the best I can. But like I was like, well, great. First of all, now I got to make this content. Like, I'm making dance content via YouTube. I don't have any clue what I'm doing, but hey, here we go. And started learning, growing. Took me years to understand how to get the sound proper, and so that it made it easy, so I didn't have to do hours of editing. Long story long, I continued to follow my heart, even though I have to admit, I felt like view counts I was like, view count, is anybody watching this? And then, like, what's happening here? But then the pandemic, because I started this before the pandemic, and then the pandemic hit, and I started getting flooded with messages from people I'm so grateful for this content. I can't believe it. I really feel like the universe is like nudging me before, like, listen, you have no clue, but something is about to happen where you're going to be stuck inside. So keep making this content. And I try to just do that, or remember that. And also, but yeah, and I love business too. And I try to engage with the community of people that follow me and say, what kind of content do you like? Like, you're the one engaging. So let's chat and go from there. But if I go off of view counts alone, I will be depressed. And like, even though from an outside perspective, people be like, oh, that's great. But sometimes you're like, is anybody watching? But then you get those messages and then you're like, okay, people are watching.
No, exactly. And the thing is as well, I mean, whether it's the video or just the audio going out there, it's constantly chugging away. And sometimes there might be a little trickle. And then somebody will do a shout out, or somebody will just share it, and it just takes off. And you're like, what? But it's there. Or somebody new comes in and they'll go back because they love what you're doing. They'll go back and look at every single thing that you've done. So it's never wasted. I mean, it's your energy and your time is done, and people are still benefiting a couple of years later.
And those, I mean, and there's signs that for me that there's those, I always love to ask the universe, I'm like, I put out signs. let me know that I'm on the right path. And I will never forget recently, because YouTube is a weird world for me, I have to admit, where I'm like, really, I'm trying to understand how to put the time and the effort to some things takes a lot. So it's like, I have to figure out exactly where to put my time. And YouTube has been a growing experience for me with that. But a woman messaged me recently, and she said, and she took a video of herself dancing. She posted on Instagram, and she said, she has cancer, and how much my YouTube videos are helping her. And I was like, it was a sign to continue helping. We're helping people. Like that's the thing. Besides the likes, the views, all of that, those are the things, those are the moments. And really trying to, it's hard in this day and age sometimes, with social media, because social media is kind of, I think I do have some things I don't like about it, like the likes, like people, it's like a lottery machine. And so there is some things, but if you continue to just keep that focus of like the conversation we're having of what content are you putting out? How does this help people? Okay, great. Beyond that, just put it out there, do the best you can, continue to learn, and then let the cards fall the way that they should. But if your heart is in the right place and it's helping people, great. You're doing good for the world. And I have to remember that sometimes myself, where I'm like, what is happening? Is this helping? And then those messages, really are really great. So I know your podcast is no doubt doing that for people.
Yeah, no, I mean, like you said, the feedback, when you see the feedback, you just go, no, that was great. I see awesome. You did the choreography for the MTV Awards.
Yeah, that was fun. That was exciting. That was a whirlwind of emotions, because I worked on a TV show here called Dance Moms. It was a reality TV show, and I had just finished that not too long before. And I felt like there was a series of work that was very chaotic. I was put in environments that were really chaotic. And MTV Video Music Awards were fun, where I had to do like the opening and work with the host, and like there's a lot of people to manage, but it was fast. I had never, it was like in there, here you go, boom, boom, boom. And I learned so much with that experience. And then I wound up working with MTV again after that with a dance marathon that they wound up doing. They wound up doing a 24-hour dance marathon on Sunset Boulevard at I think it was the Whiskey A Go-Go, which is, like these places are iconic, and some of the biggest bands have performed there. So it was really cool. It was a really cool experience. And luckily I didn't have to dance for 24 hours, but I worked with a group of dancers.
I'm sure you'd be able to manage if you had to.
Right. But I was like, you go team, you got it. You keep dancing. I'm going to go take a nap over here.
Listen, Joseph, it's been fantastic. And I want you to kind of send people the link where they can find you. But one thing I want to mention, because I always check out the website and everything, your DVD is like $15 or $14 or something like that. Which is brilliant, because lots of times there's things like that, and it's like 100 and everything, and it keeps it.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
people out. I thought fair dues to you. You know, I respect that. That is a very affordable price. That's for what you're offering. So fair dues to you for doing that.
Thank you. That was a good sell for it too. So I appreciate that. Yeah. So you can find me at 567broadway.com. And I have a DVD and a digital download. I don't think you can get the DVD outside of the United States. That, again, legal things is really difficult. But you can get the digital download. That's available worldwide. So know that. But all of that is at 567broadway.com. And even the YouTube stuff that we were talking about, there's free content on there. I do believe in free content, and there's so much. And this is a great way to even get your feet wet into dance and then go from there. But the workout video, 567 Broadway, a new musical workout, I highly recommend it. A lot of love and a lot of joy and a lot of hard work went into creating that to help bring a fun workout experience your way. So that's at 567broadway.com, and all the social media handles are at that same website, because it's hard to remember everything. So if you the crazy TikTok world that we were just discussing, if you want to go check out that craziness, there's a link to the TikTok channel, but it's 567 Broadway. Everything's at 567 Broadway. But yeah.
Yeah, and I'll make sure I'll put the link of the Broadway, but I'll actually also have the separate handles, because I know some people like it easy and they want to click on the specific one.
One click.
I put them all on the thing. So listen, Joseph.
Go watch the crazy TikTok.
Exactly. So listen, Joseph, thank you very much. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you so much.
That's all for the Speaking Podcast. You can find our episodes on speakingpodcast.com or on BitChute and YouTube, the Speaking Podcast. Until next week, take care.